Your social battery isn't drained because you're introverted. It's drained because your mind keeps jumping all over the place in social interactions. I used to believe that I am an introvert, and that led me to the fact that if I go out and have a social interaction, I'm gonna be drained afterwards, and I need to be alone in order to feel better and recharge that social battery. But it actually turned out that there was a bigger issue. When I was having a conversation, my mind was anywhere but with the conversation. My mind would jump to my own body, think if I'm having the right posture, if they are thinking that I'm looking decent, are they looking at me weird, my shirt isn't tucked, this or that. My mind was jumping all over the place, and because of that, I was feeling anxious throughout the whole conversation. And even worse than that, when the other person was telling me a story, I didn't really listen. I didn't really hear anything. How could I? I was worried about my own stuff. So it basically turns out that if you are so anxious about having a conversation and really not present, basically that your focus is missing in a conversation, turns out that that is really draining to your brain. Being anxious and jumping from one thought to the other is going to drain you faster than you can imagine. And basically, that is what happened to me all of the time. So, what does that mean? The basic problem is that you do not have focus, you do not have presence. And that sounds kind of wishy washy. But the whole idea is that when you are having a conversation, you should go and try to focus on what the person is saying. Less about yourself, less about how you look, less about what you might say afterwards, but trying to simply be there and to listen. Because that is not only going to help you to get out of small talk, because it always starts with small talk. If you want to go deeper, however, with someone, you might have to focus on what they are saying so you can lead that conversation somewhere else. Second of all, you will have a lot more fun because when you're present, your mind's not gonna jump around. And just like with video games, why are they so fun? They are so fun because we are extremely laser focused on them when we play them. When we play them, there's not a thought about something else. It doesn't jump around, it doesn't go here and there. You're simply just present. And it can be the same thing with social interactions. So, what does that mean? What are you supposed to do? What I did recently were two things. One of which is something you should do, one of which is something you shouldn't do. That helps you to be more present in conversations so you can finally have a proper enjoyment for social interactions and not drain your social battery so much. Let's start with the what to do. What I did is to start meditating regularly. You can try to meditate whenever you want, wherever you want. However, if that's too tough, let me explain. I right now am meditating on a daily basis. I have one fixed time, which should be some time where you know you won't be distracted. You will have silence. For me, that's basically before sleep. In the mornings, it's kind of rushed because I have to go to work and I wake up at a time where I have enough time for breakfast and so on. So, 5 minutes before sleeping is a regular time where I will meditate. This helps me to simply be more present, to, if my mind wanders, go back to whatever I'm focusing on. It's the same thing with a social conversation. If I realize quickly that my mind is wandering, I can go back. I can feel more present and I can be more focused on what the other person is saying. That not only makes them feel like they're being listened to, but your conversations are going to have a better quality. Let's get to the part where it's about what not to do. Simply, you should try to use your phone much less. I know, you've probably heard this one a lot. Recently, however, I've been using my phone very often. I wasn't very mindful of that, but I was basically grabbing out my phone all of the time. Every now and then, whenever I had a free moment, whenever I was stressed a little bit, I would grab that phone. What I didn't understand until I stopped, however, was that this really took out my focus. This really made me feel much more depressed. Basically, right now, I use my phone only for WhatsApp. I don't use it for anything else. The only thing I do is to use it for WhatsApp. This quickly made me realize how addicted I am to this stupid thing. I try to pick out my smartphone, try to look for some information so often. Once I stopped, however, I can feel how I am so much more present. I can listen to the other person talking with much more focus. And a side benefit, I feel much lighter, feel happier. My mind is clear. So, try to do at least one of these things, and I can promise you, your social interactions will turn out much better. And I want to know in the comments down below if you're having struggle with this too. Do you feel like social interactions drain you? Or do you feel like if you can focus or you had those moments that they're actually an enjoyment and bliss in your life? Tiny addition from the future, Kerim here. If you made it to the end of the video, hit that like button. I literally just froze my hands for you. I'll see you in the next one.